Hello, Programming 11. We are beginning a new project, and they're going to be taking our object-oriented adventures and combining them with our mode framework and kind of just bring it all together at the end of the course, and also learning some new stuff about object-oriented programming. I'm really excited about this project, and I hope you will enjoy it. I'm just going to run an example of this project. It's a little spaceship game, but it doesn't have to be spaceships in yours. Here we got Starmageddon. I think that's a great name. Did I steal that name? Maybe. But I'll pretend I didn't, and we'll just start playing. It's like, look, it's a spaceship! Spaceship, you're fighting. It's the blue one in the middle of the screen there that everyone's aiming at. All the red lasers are kind of pointing towards it. And it shoots blue lasers, and you can fight, and theoretically, not die. I can't actually die because I hacked the game so that I can do this demonstration without paying too much attention. So I could get destroyed. But there's a ton of stuff going on in this game. Look how much objects are on the screen. Every star, all those explosion particles, like that cloud of orange that hits, our spaceship. All the spaceships that shoot spaceships. A lot of stuff going on. It's fun. It's a good one. I hope you're going to enjoy this project. So the first step is really to set up our mode framework. And you probably know how to do this because we've done it in many projects this year. So I'm going to let you mostly just kind of take care of that yourself. And then our next part is to combine the mode framework with the object-oriented stuff, the data structure, the array list, and also classes, and see how that all comes together. So you, or we already did this in class for most of you, but some of you are, watching from home, or you were away, or whatever it is. So I'll show you sort of where we got to. This is our, demo project. Here's what we got so far. Whoa, red intro screen. Go to the game, and there's not much happening here, and we can go to game over and back again. So, nothing too exciting. So what do we got? So first of all, you got our typical mode framework stuff going on in the main tab. And we have some key pressed variables. Those Boolean variables we'll need to turn on and off to see if we're pressing the keys. And we got our array list. This is right now an array list of stars, and it's just driving the stars, but we're going to expand that later on. Our setup looks pretty straightforward. We make a size for our screen. We have a mode we've chosen at the beginning, and we initialize our array list. Yeah, good times. And then when we get to the draw function, it's just the mode framework, our good old favorite mode framework, that is going to subdivide the draw function into different sub-functions that will handle the drawing of the game in its different modes. So whether it's the intro screen, the game over screen, the pause screen, you name it. It's all going to be handled by these separate functions. And of course, we can always add in more as we expand our project. So the next few tabs are basically just straight up mode framework stuff. The game has a bit of stuff in it. We'll come back and look at it. The game function's got the array list for driving the stars and some other stuff. And then we'll get to game clicks and all those click functions in a minute. Game over, intro and pause are all pretty basic to say the least. They're just a background right now. So nothing too exciting. Intro, same thing. Pause, I didn't even put in the background because I can't get the pause at the moment. But you know what? You can handle all these things. You can go and design those. This is, definitely under your control to make happen. Okay, so then let's go back to the interactions. This is something else we'll need. This is another tab. And I got myself key pressed, key released functions. And it's just for managing those Boolean variables to record if I have pressed or am pressing any particular keys. I'm using the arrow keys, but you might use WASD. I'll leave it up to you. Space is my shoot, so I'm using, the key here because it types a character, the space character. And then key release, just sets those variables to false. Hey, and I got the mouse pressed as well. Mouse pressed is divided into its mode framework. And so it's similar sort of thing. But, when you press the mouse, it's, it is delegating, I guess this is the word, this mouse press task to different functions based on what mode it is. So if mode is intro, it delegates all that control to the intro clicks function. And if the mode is game, and so on. So it's just the mode framework, nothing new. To go back to game, we have ourselves we're adding a new star every frame. So every time we call game, which is once, every or 60 times a second, I guess I'll say, roughly. And so then we got, hey, we'll get a new star. That's why we see new stars coming in. And we have, we're painting the background black just to like overwrite, you know, from one frame to the next. And then we have our loop, which is exactly what we've done in previous assignments when we wanted to drive, say, our ripples or our pixels, our movers, all those other object-oriented projects that we made. Those, it's the exact same loop. It's really the exact same loop. And it's quite straightforward. Again, we start, you know, at the beginning of the array list. We're going to keep on going till the end of the array list. And what order are we going to do? Well, we'll get the current star that we're on, that I is representing sort of which star are we currently on. So we'll get that star. We'll give it a nickname, S. We'll just make a variable that we will store a reference to that star so we can tell that star to act and show. And then we'll check to see if it's dead. If it's dead, we'll remove it. Otherwise, we'll go on to the next one. And of course, we have other ways of, you know, dealing with this code. So if your loop looks a little bit different, we discussed a number of different ways to approach it. So feel free to use whatever technique. If you got a for loop in here, that's great. If you got a loop that's going backwards through the array list, fantastic. However you solve this problem, as long as you solved it, you're good to go. But that's what mine looks like, and I invite you to continue on. I also have a bit of text here. It's like a debug screen we were joking about in class. It's like a Minecraft, you know, when you press F3 and you see the debugging data. We got a little bit of that going on. It's great to have when you're testing a game. I wish I had done this in earlier projects. That would have been helpful, hey? Remember that for next year. Anyways, we have basically what is the frame rate and how many stars do we have. So that's the story there. And then, you know, game clicks is not that exciting. We also have our star class, and we've already done the star class, so I'm not going to go over it too much. Just to mention, you know, here's our instance variables. We have a constructor that has set things to these default values, and we have an act function. Whoa, Macs are crazy. And a show function where we are sort of deciding how these things behave. So there you go. That is the beginning of this project, and I'll let you set that up and come back to the next video. We'll make a spaceship, a starfighter, if you will, that will be piloting through space, and will be sort of your thing as a player that you can control in the game. That will pew pew bullets and all that fun stuff. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.